Next up, Dustin Nickerson, our headliner tonight. He can be seen on the Stand Up Unfiltered on Hulu, the Comedy Time show, and was featured in the Comedy Central Up Next Showcase. He's also showcased for the Christian Comedy Association National Conference, and now performs in clubs, colleges, and churches across the country. It's my pleasure to welcome Dustin Nickerson. Give him a hand.
All right, here in the chapel, how we doing? Excellent, good to see you today. Fulfills a dream for me. Always wanted to do comedy in an Awana game room. Absolute dream. Approved comedians are not ashamed, ladies and gentlemen. I am proud to be here. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Another round of applause for Jesse Egan and Taylor Collins. They are way funnier than me. It's gonna tank from here. Just enjoy that I kind of look like Rick Moranis. Just enjoy that. It's good to be here, guys. It's so good to be here. I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself, my story. I'm fairly new to San Diego. I'm originally from Seattle. Any Seattleites in here? Yeah, that's the sound of seasonal depression right there. Embrace it. Feels good, doesn't it? Yes. Yeah, I'm originally from Seattle, so when I moved to San Diego, it took a lot of getting used to. Namely how poorly you guys handle rain. Particularly driving in the rain. For every half inch of rain, like 800 cars crash. I've noticed in San Diego, honestly, not endorsing it, but better drunk drivers. And driving, again, not endorsing it. Yeah, and it's not just that too, like, I remember when I first moved here and like getting used to it and the rain and how poorly you guys handle. I remember we were doing a tour of my son's school to see if this would be a good school for him, you know? And we're walking around outside and it's 1 p.m. and I look at the teacher and I go, hey, where are all the kids? It's recess time. And she goes, oh, well, sir, it's indoor recess today due to weather. I go, it's 66 and sunny. What's the problem? She goes, well, sir, it rained yesterday. I said, oh, well, call the Red Cross. We at the Prayers of the Nation. Text light drizzle to 89400 to donate to us poor San Diegans. She goes, no, sir, you don't understand. It rained yesterday and the slide's wet. So I said, you know how you fix a wet slide? You send one kid down the slide. The slide's not wet anymore is what I'm saying. Oh man, it's I'm happy to be out here supporting missions. I met my wife on a mission trip. Thank you. Anybody who didn't, you don't like marriage or missions, that's fine. You're here. No, I met my wife in a youth group van on a way to a mission trip. So I believe in God, is what I'm saying. Me and Rihanna both found love in a hopeless place, is what I'm saying. It was dark and drizzly and sweaty and there was licorice everywhere. It was very strange. And we were actually going on that mission trip. We went to a small town in Montana, but then my next mission trip I went to Canada, and which is a country north of us, just so you guys know. We went to Canada, and while I was in Canada, I was doing some preaching there, and this gives you a good idea of who I am as a person. I lost every piece of ID I had in 2 days, okay? So I lost my license, I lost my passport, I brought my birth certificate just in case I lost those things, lost the birth certificate while I was there. And so I remember I'm in, we're about to go through the border, I'm praying, God, I need to get through here, I need to get back. And I go to the guy at the border and I say, hey, I've lost everything, I don't have anything. He goes, you mean to tell me you lost all those things? I go, yeah. And he goes, well, you must be American to be that stupid. Welcome home. I actually don't live in San Diego proper, I live in La Mesa, which is Spanish for, we have some La Mesans in here, very good. What are you doing here? They usually don't let us up this far north. Come this far, just keep going, buddy. I don't want you up here. Yeah, La Mesa is Spanish for the table, very good. I recently went to a restaurant and I ordered a thing called the La Mesan, which is Spanish for the table then. more or less on that one right there. And I ordered this thing, and this burger was amazing, all right? I got this burger, and on top of this burger, okay, was some bacon, good start. On top of that was a fried egg, okay? And on top of that egg was some pulled pork. Whoa, all the guys in the room just got hungry. Like, I've already eaten, but I need a La Mason. How do I get back down to La Mason? Which direction is that? I don't know, I don't go down there. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is 3 animals in 4 different forms, okay? This is a barnyard genocide, is what it is. The receipt was a memorial, you know? And it was delicious. So good. Best part of that meal, I remember somebody paid for it. I love free food probably a little too much. Like, recently at my work, there were some free donuts. All right, and most people at work, when there's free donuts, they get excited. I make a scene, okay? Like, I get embarrassed. I remember there was one day where we had free donuts, and in the place where the free donuts were, I came back at lunchtime, there were then free cookies. I ran into the office, and I found my atheist friend, John, and I pulled him back, and I said, see? What more proof do you need that there's a God and that He's good? Your little postmodern, enlightened mind, you gonna tell me that that stapler evolved into these donuts? I don't think so. You need to taste and see that the Lord and His donuts are good, okay, buddy? That's a true story. I talk about my friend Atheist John a lot. Atheist John. I was driving by a Wendy's and I saw that now they serve the delicious Frosty in a waffle cone. I called up Atheist John. I was like, your move, buddy. Because you're on the ropes right now. He asked the McRib is back. Boom, knockout blow. Converted on the spot. I have these conversations with him, and sometimes I sympathize with the atheist, all right, with the person who doesn't believe in God, because, you know, sometimes what I've noticed in my conversations with the atheist John is that sometimes church marketing can be a little off-putting to him. We had this conversation about a billboard that he saw for a church in town, and it said, "Serious faith," you guys maybe know this one, "casual people, no weird stuff." It's like, apparently that church has never read the Bible, okay? Because you're 2 chapters into that book before you have a talking snake. I'm saying it's not true, it's a little weird. It's not like the new Noah movie weird, but it's pretty weird. Pretty weird. As I was introduced, my name is Dustin, or as all of you will call me after the show, Justin. This is my whole life, all the time. Every time I meet somebody new, I say, oh yeah, nice to meet you, Justin. So here we go, right? I'm in this moment right here, where I can be a jerk and I can correct their listening, you know, or I can just be Justin. Those are my 2 choices. Because when you correct somebody's listening, there's no way to not come across like a jerk, you know? Like, oh yeah, nice to meet you, Justin. Actually, that's Dustin with a D. And then I start sounding like Sesame Street. Like I start to explain to them how the letter D works. Duh. Dustin is how you say my name. I always know, like 5 minutes later, like, man, that Darren guy's a real jerk. You guys remember when you were kids, like the whole reason you had a middle name is so you knew when you were in trouble, you know? I've noticed in relationships it's the same thing with the first name, alright? So when like things are going well with me and my wife, you know, I never call her first name. I never call her Melissa. It's always honey, girl, you know, my boo when I'm being an idiot, you know? But the second we start fighting, Melissa, you are not listening to me right now. Or I'll start getting really sarcastic, like, oh, really, Melissa? Really? That's what you're gonna do right now? You know who you're starting to sound a lot like? Charlene. That's her mom's name, just so you know. We have some mother-in-law issues here in the front row. You guys laughed at that one a little too hard. Hopefully the mother-in-law's not next to you now. The front row's killing. Just so you guys know, behind that there's about an 8-year-old on an iPad. So I don't have the whole room. What I'm saying is I don't have all of you right now. But who am I to compete with Angry Birds, right? I see you smiling. I see you smiling. Now you're hiding, so you're laughing really hard. Is your name Charlene? Remind me of my mother-in-law is what I'm saying. Yeah. Growing up with the first name Dustin, my sister always used to say to me, she'd go, "Whatever, Dustin. Mom just named you after a chore." That's like a really good insult as a kid, you know. When I was 7, so I gave her the best 7-year-old comeback I had, you know, like, "Whatever, Jessica. Mom just named you Jessica because you're stupid." Stupid Jessica. A lot of people my age and in this generation, I've noticed, are like always worried about looking great. You know, you want to be amazing, you want to be wonderful. And I've actually reached this point of contentment that I am the world's most average human being. Don't feel bad, I'm embracing it, all right? Like I am the Toyota Corolla of people, is what I'm saying. Like, guys, here's the thing with the Toyota Corolla. Anyone who owns a Toyota Corolla, all right, you're not embarrassed by it, but you're not proud of it. Like nobody's Facebook profile pic is them and their Toyota Corolla, is what I'm saying. The Toyota Corolla is the most sold car in America, and you can't name anybody that has one. Some of you are asking yourself right now, do I own a Corolla? That sounds kind of familiar. Like, I'm as if Target built a person, okay? Like, I'm no Macy's, but I'm also no Walmart, is what I'm saying. Right in the middle. Like, if I were a soda, I would be a Sprite, okay? Because here's the thing with Sprite. Somebody offers you a Sprite, you're like, yeah, I can have a Sprite. You got anything to mix that with? So it's like, hey, you want to hang out with Dustin? You're like, yeah, I can hang out with Dustin. Is anyone else going to be there? Just average, right in the middle. Like, I'm not tall, but I'm not short. Like, what I'm saying is, if I lived in the Shire, I would be one of the taller hobbits, is what I'm saying. It's right in the middle. Like, I like to consider myself the man of my wife's most average dreams. Not the nightmares, certainly not the fantasies, just the ones where she wakes up and is like, that'll do. I'll drive a Corolla, that's fine. Average, right in the middle. I am trying to be healthier. A couple of comedians talked about that already. Like, I've reached this point in my life where I've concluded that every person has a choice to make, all right? You can eat healthy or you can be happy. It's true, I believe them to be mutually exclusive. Because if you talk to somebody who eats healthy all the time, every meal, you know, you're like, hey, what'd you have for breakfast? Well, I wrapped an almond in a piece of kale. And then for lunch, I had 2 pieces of gum. And then for dinner, I had a small piece of chicken that I marinated in my tears because I cry all day long. They're like, what about you? I was like, I made a dozen donuts last for the day. I stretched it out. It's hard, you know, there's things like donuts that I have a hard time with. You know what I really, really love are Girl Scout cookies. Oh, man. Oh, the Girl Scout cookies. What are you guys' favorite kind of Girl Scout cookies in here? Thin Mint, what else? Samoa, any others? Are there any others? What was that? Do-si-do?
Yeah, Do-si-do.
That's a Girl Scout cookie? That's your favorite? That's like Arizona being your favorite state. That's like the Denver Broncos being your favorite team, buddy. There it is. I told you that's from Seattle, right? Remember when you guys did that adorable thing in the third quarter and you scored that touchdown? That was adorable. That was the cutest little touchdown I'd ever seen. Oh my gosh, you Broncos, you are amazing. So cute. Hey, between you and me, at least you're not a Chargers fan though, am I right? I told, what were we talking about? Girl Scout cookies. Here I am making for the Broncos. Think I'm excited about the Super Bowl still? Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you guys, my favorite kind of Girl Scout cookie is actually thick mint. Yeah, and that's when you eat a whole sleeve of Thin Mints in one sitting. I usually eat those 2 at a time. When I say that, I eat a whole box of Thin Mints all at once. That's my favorite kind. I recently was with my doctor telling him these jokes. He didn't think they were very funny. He's like, Dustin, you need to exercise a little more. What do you do for exercise? I was like, well, at my gym, they do this new class called TRX. Right, TRX is like this pulley-based workout, you know, you're kind of the weight. It was invented by a Marine. It's really cool. And he goes, TRX, doesn't that seem a little advanced for you? Maybe they got some water aerobic classes or some steps with the pink weights. Have you seen the pink weights, Dustin? Say it. We were going back and forth on that too, about the diet, needing to be healthier and stuff like that. And finally, I just got so frustrated. I looked at him. I go, doctor, all right, you tell me if I'm healthy, okay? You're the doctor. He goes, well, it's not exactly a science. I go, medicine? Pretty sure that's exactly a science, doctor. And we're still going back and forth. And he's like, well, maybe you could try this thing called the paleo diet. And I said, no. No, I will not do the paleo diet. Is anyone in here on the paleo diet? Are you too embarrassed to raise your hand? Right here? If you know anybody on the paleo diet, you know everything about the paleo diet. Talk. Because paleo diet's kind of like the Jehovah's Witnesses of dieters. Talk. All the time. That's actually how the diet works, is you're too busy talking about the paleo diet that you forget to eat. You look great. You look great. You probably haven't eaten in weeks, but you can post about it on Facebook all the time, annoying all your friends, alright? Just switch to Mary Kay, it's less annoying, okay? Maybe the paleo diet works, alright? But I'll tell you, you guys tend to oversell it. Alright, I've had these conversations, you talk to someone like, yeah, I'm on the paleo diet, man. I'm losing weight, I'm sleeping better. It saved my marriage. My kids are getting better grades in school now. I found my biological dad. Got a free iPhone upgrade, no more ATM fees. It's the paleo diet. I'm gonna stick with the thick mints is what I'm saying. I do have kids, parents in the house, make some noise. I have 3 kids. Taylor kind of alluded to it a little earlier, talking about that moment that your child was born. It's supposed to be this amazing, powerful moment. I respond very similar to Taylor in the moment. I hold that child in my arm first times, and my wife goes, how does he look? And I go, ugh. He looks just like my dad. He goes, what do you mean? Like he has some facial characteristics of your dad? I go, no, it looks like my dad's current 65-year-old face was put onto this slimy baby. We've given birth to Benjamin Button is what I'm saying. We have all kinds of funny conversations, you know, with your kids. I remember we were talking about, to my son, about maybe him growing up to be a missionary. Maybe go to China or something like that. It's like, how am I going to tell people about Jesus in China? They don't know my English, and I don't know their China words. Just saying the most amazing things like that, you know? Sometimes he's got a little sass to him as well. He came in the other day, and he's like, hey, Dad, what do you know about Abraham Lincoln? It's like, okay, you're 6. I should win this little knowledge battle that we're going to have. And I kicked him in the face. He's not very tall. Okay, 16th president, freed the slaves. He's on the penny, the $5 bill. What's up, son? What's up? He goes, is that all you know? I said, until I see that movie, yes, that is all I know. Move along. Kids put you in some crazy, weird situations, too. This is a true story. I gotta tell you guys this, all right? A couple months ago, I walked into my backyard, and for some weird, strange, return-to-Eden situation, both my kids were naked. Kids are a lot weirder after that. Okay, my son had taken like 200 of my golf tees and put them in mountain form, okay? And then he had pooed on top of my golf tees. That's what I said. And then my 4-year-old girl was like, that's a good idea, I guess I'll do that too. And I looked at them and I froze, okay? Because life had never handed me that situation before. I had never been in that moment. And I go, what are you doing? And in unison they go, we're making a volcano! I didn't find it as funny as you guys find it now. Still don't. I was getting pretty mad, alright? So after I ruined my shop vac, I sat both of them down and I was furious. I was so mad at them and I just sat them down and I said, you guys need to know this, okay? Look at me in the eye. Of everyone in this family, your mom is the only one that I picked. So let that sink in. Now you think about making a volcano. I'm actually recently a father of 3. My wife recently gave birth to our 3rd kid about 6 weeks ago. Thank you. Those of you not clapping, hate babies, that's fine. Everyone started clapping. I don't hate babies, that sounds fine. It's great. My wife is beautiful and she's a beautiful pregnant woman, you know, but she's very petite, so it's very funny when she's pregnant, you know? Like, you know when like you see a snake that gets too ambitious about what it can eat? She kind of looked like that, you know? Like she looked like she was either pregnant or she was smuggling watermelons across the border. You know? She's very petite. And she really liked to swim when she was pregnant, you know? It took some of the pressure off. But she really liked to do the backstroke, which was hilarious. Because I mean, she's lying flat, and the only thing out of the water is this big belly right here. She looked like Baloo from the Jungle Book, you know? Doing the backstroke. And she would wear this orange bathing suit, so the lifeguards were like, hey, get the basketball out of the pool. I told you kids 1,000,000 times, it's gonna ruin the leather. But she did, she gave birth to our 3rd kid. And I think that the best thing about when your wife gives birth to your kid is that she's no longer pregnant. Got real silent on the pregnant women in here. Just go along for the ride because, you know, like the kid's great, but the non-pregnant wife, even better. Just fantastic, because it's the mood swings. Like a pregnant wife is like a Lego head, all right? With a smile on one side and a demon on the back side. There's some husbands who are remembering the days. Oh yeah. She was one of those demons that I needed a big old thing of pigs that I could just throw them in. It's the mood swings, they're just all over the place. This is a true story. My wife was 9 months pregnant. She came stomping, literally stomping her feet out of the bathroom. She goes, Dustin! You know I'm in trouble. First name. Why didn't you tell me there was something in my teeth? I go, I don't know, honey, you haven't smiled in like 3 weeks. That's the first smile I've gotten out of you in 25 minutes. And that's the second. There we go. It was that. It was the pregnant wife not smiling. We hit something there. It resonated some old memory. Yeah, that's the one. I'm not because you're older, but I just think it might have been a while since you guys had kids. I mean, unless you're Abraham and Sarah. Maybe it was recently, I don't know. Bible joke there, guys. I'm with you. I've read the thing. I've read it a few times. I'm so glad I made you laugh. It took me so long. I had the demon side face of the Lego in the front row, and then a Broncos fan and an iPad right here. Like, I hear laughter, I just can't see it in the front row. I actually got married when I was really young. I was 19 when I got married. So younger than Taylor. Yeah, crazy, huh? And people, when you get married, they like ask you why you got married so young. I was like, well, I just married the first girl I met. No, that's not true. People, they ask you like, why would you get married so young? Easy. I love sleepovers. Trying to get those on lockdown every night till death do us part. And then people give you really weird advice when you get married young too. Like I remember I had one person like, hey, you know what, 19 is actually a good age to get married at, because you can get your first marriage out of the way that way. I was like, you give the worst advice, Mom. I wasn't scared to get married. I fell in love. I was happy to marry her. I'm not scared of it all. But I do think sometimes with fear, like, fear is irrational. Okay, the nature of fear as humans, we fear the wrong things. Alright, I'm terrified of spiders. Terrified of them, alright? But did you know statistically, I am more likely to die of diarrhea than of a spider bite? Which means statistically, I should be more scared of Taco Bell than spiders. But I'm not. Not even a little scared. Not from breakfast to fourth meal. Not even a tiny bit scared. I was recently reading this book called The Secret. Secret was an interesting book. And the thesis of the book, The Secret, was that if you thought about anything